So this is our second week of Adventure in Spirit, and it's the sacred path this year. And this path is the path of divinity. And divinity means the state or godlike qualities. It can also mean fluffy, creamy candy. We're going with the first. And just what beautiful InSpirit band and Gretchen was singing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. That's what life's all about. Just the way their music, all of it, comes together to give us the gift. That's the way Spirit works in all of its creative ways. And Meister Eckhart says, that beautiful mystic Meister Eckhart says, all paths lead to God. And God is on all of the paths equally for the ones who know and understand. It doesn't matter if we call it God. You know, we say that God is all there is, and that's the one thing we want to, that's the main tenet we say in here in religious science, science of mind, centers for spiritual living, our evolutionary process right there. But we say God is all there is. That's all there is. And if we know that energy is all there is, then God must be energy. Energy is vital. It's power. It's strength. It's spirit. And that's what all there is. So if we look at life, knowing that's all there is, then all the things we see, well, they could be either energy materialized or God manifested. It doesn't matter what name you call it. You see, in the book we're using this month, or this year for Adventure in Spirit, it's One River, Many Wells. And again, Meister Eckhart, that beautiful German Christian mystic, said, God is one underground river that cannot be dammed or stopped, continuous forever and ever. Now what happens as individuals, we're born here as unique individuals, all connected but very unique. And we want to make sense of the world, right? We want to define it. We want to know what it's all about. So here's this energy, this pulsating energy. We call it the divine urge or the divine spark. It's in us, and it calls us to know it and name it and see it. So we put wells into this one river. So there's one river and many different wells. And we bring up our piece of what we know about that energy, that creative essence, that intelligence that we call God. And we make a doctrine around it, all these different doctrines with different names. So the wells could be, let's see, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Taoist, Hindu, Aboriginal goddess. What else? I'm sure I forgot a few there, but all these different wells defining the same thing. And each has a beautiful piece to add. But as we grow in consciousness, we realize that it's all the same. There's really no difference. We may define it differently depending on our experience of God. You see, the names themselves are beautiful. You know, there's masculine and feminine names of God. There's, I guess in the Muslim tradition, there are, what they say, 99 beautiful names for God. And in the Hindu tradition, they have one name for God, Rama, with 1,000 different names. And so that's just 4 different traditions right there. But each one is limited, the words themselves. And so this morning when we talk about the sacred path to divinity, I want you to know it's about experience. Because words are how we define things, but our experience is how we feel things and embody things. And I said earlier, it's hard to do that because God is a mystery. We can see expressions of God, but we can't see that essence itself right now. We can see it manifest, but we can't see its unoriginated form, the unformed form stuff, goodness, whatever it is. We can't see that part. So we have to figure out, if God is all there is, it's the goodness for sure, but it's also the darkness. And I think that's hard for us to understand as humans, especially when you've been in a teaching where we learn that, life is good and we're born to be happy. We're born to be given every good thing for us. We're born to grow and expand. We're born for all of this. So we think our life should be wonderful all the time. But who decides that? When we say change your thinking, change your life, that's what Ernest Holmes said. It sounds, sometimes it can sound kind of trite. It is so deep and so meaningful. And science and religion are coming together to prove that we have the power to change our brains. We have the power to do that. We have the power to shift our perception to change our lives. Our little thoughts are little like tablets. I was going to say bullets, but I don't want to. So little tablets of power, of energy. And we have about 70,000 thoughts a day, give or take 1,000 here or there. 70,000 thoughts a day. And these thoughts have power. Do you know how powerful we are? Now, some of those thoughts are high frequency, like, I love this. This is wonderful. I'm so excited. How perfect. Some are just average. I've got to do this. I'm called to do this. This is, this is here. This is this. And some are just, gosh darn, nasty. I don't like this. And, some just, we have different frequencies. Our job in this world is to shift our energy so we can get ourselves, our thoughts, to be vibrating at a different frequency. Are you getting that? We want to be vibrating so we focus on goodness. And sometimes we've got to search for that goodness. We've got to search and search and search, but it will change your experience. And I have a simple little experience that happened that's not deep and meaningful, but boy, did it show me how to shift experience. But I'll tell you that in a minute. You see, what scientists are learning, or what they know, is that we have 3 different segments, independent segments of our brain that are interconnected. And we live in a different part of the brain, and we really have the power to change our thinking, so we're living from a higher consciousness. Now, our reptilian brain is that part that's the oldest brain that lives in the fight or flight, the past or future. It's very rigid and compulsive, and it's reactionary, and we need that. There's times we absolutely need that, but we don't want to live there all the time. Then there's the mammalian brain, what the mammals developed. It's the beginning of our learning, where we can learn about life. It's where our values and our emotions sit, where we learn how to be compassionate and loving. And that brain brings us right to the present moment. Right there, we live in the present moment. Then there's the neocortex here, which is where we want to be moving forward. It's the higher level thinking. It brings things together. It's the imagination, the passion, the empathy, and that's where we want to be. So we want to lift our thoughts to that. But what we have to do is we have to become aware of where our thoughts are. So yesterday, and I can hear it, a lot of us have been feeling what's going on in the world, and I felt pretty funky for 3 days, and I did all the good things. I took all my vitamins and all my stuff and got a massage and did all the good things, and I still was feeling a little funky yesterday, but my daughter called, and boy, she had done something to her neck, and she had an event up here all day, and she said, "Mom, can you get me your chiropractor or your massage person? It's really important." So I called different people, did different things, got her scheduled at a certain time because she told me when she could be here, and I let her know, and the time was getting closer and closer, and I hadn't heard back from her. And I started slipping into do you know what I did to make this happen? I pulled in a favor, and that's where I started slipping to, and I'm going, okay, right. And then I said, is that where I want to be? Do I want to be angry with my daughter? Do I really want to feel that right now? Well, let's just say there's something more going on here. So the time got closer and closer, and finally I went and put my bathrobe on because she was coming to the house. I said, I'll get the massage, even though it wasn't planned in my financial schedule. I thought, I'll just do it, So my beautiful massage therapist, she wasn't a massage therapist, so she's a neuro something, but she came in, and I said, thank you for coming here for my daughter, but I realize it's for me. And she said, great. And I said, if she comes in, get on the table. Well, she called, and she was crying. She said, Mom, my phone didn't work, and I didn't get your message, and I can't get there. I am so sorry. Well, I got a massage, and I feel a whole lot better today. And it really shows you that, when we can shift it, and I decided, what good is it going to be if I make her feel bad or guilty about something? And it's just a little teeny-weeny thing. That's in the big scope of things that are going on in the world, that's a tiny little thing. but it shows you. It's a lesson you can learn. I can learn. I learned it. I felt so good. And she called me as I'm in this morning and told me all this, and she felt bad. I said, don't. I'm feeling so much better today. It's a miracle. And I'm sorry you're not. But anyway, that's, wow. I mean that, really, I mean it. So, a little lesson for us to learn. We need to really focus and be aware of what thoughts we're thinking, because there is a thinker behind our thoughts. When we say there's a power for good in the universe greater than we are, always there. We can use it right now. But we have to be aware, and we have to be willing. So God is all there is, God is a mystery, and God is creative. God is creative. God is, oh my gosh, we are creating all the time, you know that. Every minute we're creating. Every minute there's thoughts going on. We're creating all the time. Do you guys get it? There's not a time we're not creating something. We're either creating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, which is kind of habitual thinking. But we're doing that, or we're creating something new. Well, God is a creative energy that we use, and that's how God knows itself. That's how life knows itself. So you and I need to be really conscious. I found the most creative things we can do is ask really juicy questions. Juicy questions. We have to ask questions that bring life and not bring us down. The questions like, okay, how many of you have asked this recently? Why me? Why this again? Why now? Anybody asked that recently? Oh, come on. We all do. This same old thing. You know, we do that a lot. Instead of asking the questions that make us more alive, like, what is Spirit trying to teach me? What is Spirit trying to express through me? Because what we know, Albert Einstein, beautiful mystic himself, said, you can't solve a problem at the same level of consciousness as the problem. We've got to ask higher questions. Higher questions. We have to be doing something more, because every question, every problem holds within it a question that wants to be asked, an answer that wants to be shared, a solution or an action that's ready to be taken, but more importantly, a new way of thinking and a new way of life that wants to be born through us. Because the part I was saying is we're born to be happy and have every good thing that's good for us, to have fun in living, but we're here to grow and expand forever. And that's not always the fun part. That's the part that can be difficult. God is all there is. God is a mystery that we're here to experience. We can't put a name on it. It's a mystery. We can feel it and experience it. God is creative. But most importantly, the answer to every single question, God is love. I mean, that's so simple. It's all so simple when we boil it down. But if we can love ourselves enough to ask the right questions, if we melt into that place within us, that awareness that we're made of love from that stuff of life, we'll hear life saying, the love that's in us, don't hurt each other. Don't hurt each other. Not a good idea. Make sure when people are in your presence, they feel better. It's the experience. Don't hurt one another. Love one another, care for one another. Be there for each other. Protect one another. We'll hear that in ourselves. I want you to say something with me. It takes us the courage to rise up. And it can be scary when we're up there. Are we going to fall? Yeah, sometimes. That's okay. But we need to rise up to something more. I'm going to ask you today, and this is hard, but when you see anything going on in the world, I mean anything, say, that's me. That's me. Remember when I said there's a we in every one of us? That's me. So just for a minute, We used to do this in class a lot. I think it was in the Artist's Way. We'd spend time and we'd list people we really admired, people in life we really loved. Wow, they could be dead or alive, it didn't matter. All that, and we'd list their qualities down, and then we'd own that, because you can't see what you aren't. So you couldn't see those qualities that you love and admire if that weren't part of you, right? You get that? No, yeah, I know that part. I heard that. Thank you, Kurt. But it's not a one-way street is where I was going, but I sort of wanted to drop that bomb in a minute. Yeah. All the things we see about people we love belong to us. And if you flip that over, the same thing is true. Okay? We can't be pointing our finger at all these other people that are doing cruddy stuff without thinking, that's me too. That's me. I'm part of that. That's there so I can learn. Thank you. That's there for me. That's me. Just say it. That's me. That's me. Okay, think of somebody you really love and like. And no, say that's me. Okay, think of somebody you absolutely, ooh. You know how we get the God bumps when we love? We get those cringy bumps when we, things we don't like so well. Okay, that thing. Just say, that's me too. That's me too. Okay, I want you to think about that. That's my homework, life work. Because if we can get into that state of unity, that state of understanding, we have to love life so much that we can really say, that's me too. You know, one of my beautiful favorite poets, Hafez, 13th century mystic, said, I have learned so much from God. I can no longer call myself a Hindu, a Buddhist, a Christian, a Jew. Truth has touched me so much that I can no longer call myself a man, a woman, an angel, even pure soul. And love has befriended me so much and turned to ash. It has freed me from every image my mind has ever known. That's when we can say, that's me. When we don't have that judgment of those images of how things are supposed to be. When we can realize we're part of all the solutions and all the problems, all the good and the not so good. We're part of it all. But beautiful Hafez says something else. I'm doing a christening this afternoon for a such a sweet little baby. And, you know, for me, a baby is life's, God's message that life is to go on. A baby is God's message that life is good. And the Bible tells us we are to become like little children. And why is that? Why do we want to become like little children? It's because children can speak the truth from their hearts. Children can see life with fresh eyes, with wonder and awe and joy and mystery, and they can also share love unconditionally. My Sufi Hafez mystic poet also says, and I forget how this one starts, every child knows and has known God, not the God of names, not the God of don'ts, not the God who ever does anything weird, but the God that only knows 4 words and keeps repeating them over and over and over. Come dance with me. Come dance. Which says life is an invitation to all of us to be open and available to all the experiences it has. Come dance with me. Not just spirit. Remember, we're each and every one of us this individualized expression of spirit. So come dance with me, each one of us. Come dance and enjoy the wonders of life and all of its expressions. Just take this time with me. Let's close our eyes and close this time together, the time that we step on this path of divinity, this path of our godliness, our God qualities, where we simply choose to experience the allness of God. Let's just come together in that consciousness that this is a time for us to open ourselves to recognize and know truly that God is all there is. There's not a God and. There's only a God. God is, I am, we are. That's all there is. An expression of this vitality, this strength, this wonder, this beauty that God is. We look at nature and we see the beauty of the birds, the beauty of the flowers, the beauty of the trees, the beauty of the waters, and we can see that life knows how to replenish, renew itself, to grow again and again and again. And as we recognize this quality of God, of divinity, this creative power to grow and expand and become, we see the possibility, the potential in every single moment. We recognize and know that this moment right here is absolutely infused with wonder and magic and miracles, things to be known, great questions to be asked. And as we center ourselves firmly on the path of spirit, as we center ourselves and reach out and ask others to join us, come dance with me, come sing with me, come celebrate with me, then we are on a path of ever expanding good. We know whatever experience is in the moment that's uncomfortable, distasteful, is just an opportunity to grow and expand into something new. Life is a miracle, and so are we. Recognizing and knowing this, we just breathe in the miraculous energy of creativity, of mystery, of wonder, of knowingness right now. And we take this moment to say, what is life wanting to express through me right now? What is life wanting to express? How does God want to know itself as me right now? Because I have unique gifts to give and share with the world in this and every moment. And on that note, as we feel open to the invitation of life, as we're dancing in the mystery, as we've invited others to join with us, we just release this knowing into a beautiful vision of the ever unfolding good that's taking place right here, right now, and always. And we seal this together by saying, and so it is. I bless you all on this beautiful journey. You know how much I love each and every one of you, and I'm so proud we're dancing together. I'm so glad we're celebrating together. I'm so glad we're knowing truth together. God bless you all. Thank you.